Okay, good evening. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order at 5:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2023. If I could please have a volunteer commissioner that can lead us in our opening ceremonies through the flag salute. We'll do roll call? Yes. Okay, let's do roll call, please. Sorry.
No problem. Chairperson Santana,
Present.
Commissioner Carlin,
Here.
Commissioner Takayama,
Here.
and Commissioner Jimenez.
Here.
Thank you. Oh, are we able to do the flag salute? Awesome. Cool. I'll lead us off. Let's all stand and right hand over your heart. All right, ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is going to be correction to the agenda. Do we have any recommended changes or corrections?
Chairperson and Commissioners, we do not have any recommended changes.
Thank you so much. And then next would be public comments. Have any been submitted?
Chairperson, we do not have any comment cards.
Thank you. Next into the consent items, let's move on to the one and only action item today, the utility box beautification program, call for artists.
Chairperson, members of the commission, we brought this item to you today for your consideration to release round 3. As you know, you saw the agenda that was provided to you folks on Monday. A little bit of history, what we've done so far through this commission, and there will be a lot more discussion with the Arts and Culture Subcommittee or Ad Hoc Committee to move forward with this project. But what we're looking for, the permission and the consent of the commission today is to release the third call for artists. Basically what we're asking for is the permission to release that, but also at the same time to move forward with the Arts and Culture Subcommittee to kind of define that further. The city's general concept would be history in Montebello, but we want to refine that further. But essentially, like I said, there's the analysis in the background of the program, highlighting the first 2 installments, which was one for youth, and then a more general call for artists back at the end of 21. And those pieces of art are still up and still being maintained. Some have to be repaired or replaced at this time, but we're continuing that tradition and hoping to work with the commission on a third round of this. So again, today's action item that we're asking for the commission is to authorize moving forward with a third call for artists and then work forward more with the subcommittee here to define what that's going to look like for the theme and the grading and all those details there. So that's our item at this time. If there are any questions, we're here to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members that would like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you first. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, commissioners. I guess now we can go, before we do vote, we could go into any conversations, questions, or comments.
A real quick question. Commissioner Carlin with the question. Where does the funding come from?
Yeah, it's a great question, Commissioner Carlin. So the city has these funds set aside in the Recreation Community Services Department budget, which was actually also just approved last night along with the general city budget. So we have different parts of our budget that we segment for different types of programs, this being one of them. So it is general fund to answer your question specifically, but it's part of the recreation budget. No additional appropriations are required for this.
Okay, thank you.
No other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Takayama.
Is this open only to public school and not private schools? Or is it open to every school? Or do we already have the artists in question?
Chairperson, if I may, for that question, Commissioner Takayama, the first round we did was only for 4th through 8th grade Montebello residents. students, right? So they didn't have to be public school or private school, it didn't matter at that point. The second round was open to all ages. And then the third round is what we're asking today, to work with the commission subcommittee to define a little bit more how they want to have that outreach. General concept for us is we want to do a history of Montebello. I saw some other cities that had some nice streetscapes of what streets used to look like in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. So I thought that'd be a great concept. But ultimately, what we decide is up to the commission and how we put that out, that call for artists. So we want it to be for fifth graders only, adults only, or whatever we decide. Bright blue colors only, like whatever the commission decides is up to you guys. So as it is now set up, there's not a specific age group nor a specific type of school that is being targeted. However, we will work with the commission's Arts and Culture Subcommittee to further define that.
Okay, thank you.
I do have more of a suggestion, not a question, but I have talked to some of the businesses close to a lot of these utility boxes, and they have shown interest to see how they can help or even adopt, if you will, one of these boxes with the design that is, for being a great example. I talked to the owner of California Boba, and she was interested in seeing how we can combine her business with that box that's right in front. So maybe that's something we could look into.
Chairperson, if I may, on that note, so again, that'd be something
please.
that the commission could suggest, right, if we want it to be businesses or look for businesses to sponsor or specifically to have that design made. So, and also help us pick the locations too. We ultimately are going to kind of influence that, the locations, just because we don't want to cluster them in one area. We want to spread it throughout the city, and then utility boxes that make the most sense. I think there's over 90 total that we have access to do these artworks on, and we've done about 14 so far. So we want to make sure we spread the wealth, I guess. But again, taking any considerations and design choices and our targeted audience, we'll definitely listen to the commission for that. So again, today is just kind of the overall concept. We want to continue with this project and put out the next call for artists with your guidance.
Thank you for answering those questions. Any others? Could we do a roll call vote? Yes.
Chairperson Santana,
That's a yes for me.
Commissioner Carlin,
Yes.
Commissioner Takayama,
Yes.
and Commissioner Jimenez.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All yeses. If we want to go ahead and move over to commission and committee orals, I'll actually go last today if anybody does have any comments or orals.
Just a few comments, actually. First, I do want to commend the staff. I did stop by when the lunch program, the free summer meal program for kids started. I took some of the kids that my mom takes care of, so it was a really, great experience to see a lot of the kids take advantage of this program. So I do want to commend the staff for doing such a great job on that. And then this past weekend, I did have a time along with D, one of our residents, very committed residents, to go and plant some of the flowers. We had talked about it when we did the Ashia cleanup for City Service Saturday. So we actually went back this weekend and we were able to plant some of the flowers on it's like a bench that looks like a planter right next to the playground. So it looks good. Whenever you guys have a chance, stop by and look at it, because it looks, there's color there now. So, I do want to publicly thank Dee for taking the time and providing the flowers as well.
Thank you, Commissioner Jimenez.
I wanted to make a big announcement about our Girl Scouts and how we went ahead and we received a plaque for having so much donations for Penny Lane. I think they did an amazing job. These youth individuals work very hard in our community to make a better impression, to help the community, and whenever they get a chance. And so I'm very, very proud of them, and I'd like to make an announcement.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Carlin?
Yes. I'd like to thank David Sosnowski and all the Parks and Rec staff. I was able to attend the Memorial Day celebration, and that was just a really neat, significant event. And just the way you were able to bring people together, the partnership with the Montebello High School Oiler Band, I believe there was the American Legion. And just to bring all these different entities together and to memorialize and to celebrate and give a little history and background of the city of Montebello, the people that have lived in Montebello, and then those people that served and died for our country. So I think that was an awesome celebration that really came together, gave everyone to understand the importance of Memorial Day. So I just want to thank you and your staff for just a really good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carlin. My last statement is really the sentiments of my colleagues up here. Is just a really big kudos and thanks to you for all the events that we've been participating in and been having. I know that I ask a lot of questions about the when and how these are going to get promoted, and I'm very excited to see a lot of them popping up on social media or being talked about amongst family and friends. So thank you so much. The last statement that I want to make is just appreciation for our third annual Stride for Pride that's happening on June 24th. I know it's small and mighty, but the visibility is so important, especially with so much happening in the country right now. Many states and legislatures are kind of on the attack for LGBTQ people. Mental health is very important, and it's very important to be visible and be out there, especially as an LGBTQ person myself. So I really do commend the city, and I'm very appreciative for the staff and all those that support. And just those that are supportive of health also for our 5K. So thank you so much. With no other comments, I would next move over to staff communication.
Chairperson, members of the commission, monumentous occasion here. We're sharing with you folks today the first edition of the Connect with Rec Guide. So most cities, as you know, have a rec guide that goes out seasonally or quarterly, depending on what their needs and requirements are for their community and communication. And summer being our busiest time, we're highlighting with the cover here of the Aquatic Center and highlighting the summer here. So 30 pages of lots of content, classes, seniors, all of our events, including the Stride for Pride and the second annual 4th of July Spectacular on July 1st, National Night Out, and the Street Fest, it all in here. So one-stop shop for folks to look at all their activities and all the different events at the city and the department, and look a little bit about the Montebello bus lines and what information they have. Since I'm a parks nerd, the last 2 pages are my favorite, which is the amenities guide. So you get to see what each park has and how to find all of our parks on a map. But again, every program from seniors to classes to youth to adult to sports to adaptive sports and special events such as the 4th of July, Stride for Pride. So this is going to get limited print as we took to council and got their authority to do. But we also have digital copies with a digital flip book that'll be posted up on the internet sometime over the weekend, or at least the PDF. So shared with you guys the hot off the presses here as the Recreation Commission. I'm sure there's some things I'm missing, but it wouldn't be appropriate if I didn't say thanks to the staff who worked on this, specifically Kylie Torres here, our rec manager, and Nadine Hernandez, the supervisor, that did a lot of work with this vendor here that did a great job putting together our first rec guide. So when we get the printed copies, we'll make sure we share those with you guys as well, but I just wanted to highlight that you'll be seeing that sometime over the weekend. So thank you guys. And now I'll pass it to Kylie.
Thank you, Chairperson and Recreation Commissioners. One thing that I did want to highlight in the book that's starting this next year is our Recreation Scholarship Program. We will be having scholarships for youth and the senior population. They can come and fill out applications at our office, and they do have to qualify. It is for low-income or underserved community members, but depending on their need, they'll get 50 to 75% off of some of our programs. So that's a really big benefit for the people in our community, and it's definitely needed. And moving beyond that, one thing that was not in our guide because we didn't know exactly the date that it was going to be coming out, and I do want to talk about the movie night at the pool. So if you haven't been to the pool is open, it's heated, it's wonderful, and so we're going to be doing that this Saturday evening. The pool opens at 7 p.m. We'll start the movie around sundown and watch Hotel Transylvania Transformation, and it'll be a really fun night for the families and pool floaties, toys, and some snacks will be provided. So if you can come out, we would love to see you. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I'm going to jump ahead of my peer commissioners and ask just the question on how would we best be able to help you and your department with these events. Obviously, now the communication piece, thank you so much. Now the next step of what are you looking for if somebody comes to us and says, how can we help? How can we participate?
That is a great question, Chairperson. So first, I think you hit the nail on the head. The best communication piece the department probably ever had in 100 years, right, which is the recreation guide and sharing that. We're talking about some ways to get that out, either through QR codes or making flyers, so that way folks could pick that up at one of our events and scan and be able to download and then share that digital link. So I know the public affairs team has done a great job of creating the weekly newsletter. So tell folks to sign up for that through the city website because it's going to be linked tomorrow if you get the Friday news blasts from the public affairs team. And I don't want to just cliche it and say just keep sharing the guide, but that's going to be the answer. But a lot of what could happen to Chairperson and members of the commission is to be involved in the programs. We need volunteers for 4th of July event. We need volunteers for special cleanup days. As you guys all know, we need volunteers for the Street Fest, or at least to come out and enjoy it. Because I think the guide shows, and I think our events show as well, that there's something for everybody from every age and every demographic. So the best thing to do is share what we have. And if we don't give you enough information to share, come back to us and make sure we give you more information. But we think we captured it all in this this guide. And even though summer being the biggest, I feel like we're going to have a large fall guide too. We'll talk about the Heritage Fest and some other things coming up, but I don't want to spoil that one yet. So we're working on all those things. So. But I think that's the best way to get involved, to answer your question, right? Keep coming out. I always see you guys at all the events when you can. So that's always a big help too. So. And you all know social media is the way to go, so keep sharing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Any questions, comments, commissioners?
Sure. I'd like to echo Chairperson Santana's sentiment that as leaders here, that if we can help in any way support your programs, the efforts of the Parks and Recreation Department, please bring this up and let us know. And sometimes we just don't know, and then reminders, whatever it takes. And I share in that same sentiment. I'm here to help and I'm here to support. It looks like there's a tremendous amount of work. I can only imagine how many people were stressed over this. There's a lot of information from all the different programs, and then to bring it together and to even match all the fonts and all the different styles. I'm sure it takes a little bit. I've been a part of projects like this in the past. And kudos to you. In my former training as a police officer, if it wasn't written, it didn't happen. And now we're writing it down, we're making it happen. And only good things are gonna come of this. It serves as a little reminder of what we're doing and how we're gonna go forward. So thank you to you and your staff for making this happen. It's truly appreciated.
I do also want to echo that as well, but I think, this is a testament of, what happens when we come together, right, to work together and what we can accomplish. I think, it really does take a village, so I do want to commend everyone that was behind this. Knowledge is power, so I'm very excited to see how our community reacts to all of this information.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And if you'll allow me, I would like to mention something else that happened today that we're very proud of, and so we just wanted to keep you all in the loop of what's happening. But we today submitted an application to the state of California for the Recreation Trails Program. We were requesting $1.9 million in grant funding to build a walking trail around Reggie Rodriguez Park and provide some connectivity points on each of the corners, one that's located more towards the Rio Hondo riverbed and the other that's going to be going off of West Walnut. The city is required to do a small match of about $200,000 for a total of a $2.2 million project. So our analyst here worked diligently on the project. It's a lot to put together. There's a lot of information that needs to go, and she really wrote quite a bit and got everything coordinated, and it was submitted today. So we're very proud of that, and keep good thoughts for an award.
Thank you so much for that work. I've done small grant writing, and I cannot even imagine one that size. But let's all cross our fingers and send positive thoughts, especially towards our park grant, right? For that funding. It's a small match to match, smaller, but it's going to be a great outcome. Thank you. If there's no other questions or comments, I am going to move to adjourn this meeting at 5:51 p.m. If I can get a motion.
I motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Awesome.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none. Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.